Hi all, so today I'm with the 1994 Jaguar XJ40. Just need to do some routine servicing on the car. She's been laid up since October last year, and all I've done since then is replace the battery with a Lucas premium battery. I also want to look at the fuel filter and also air filter. Last year all of the fluids were changed, but I will just want to check off making sure that discs and pads are okay, checking for any wear, check the tyres, just the routine kind of servicing stuff. But I thought it'd be quite interesting just to show you, because I've actually got the car jacked up on all fours. So let's just have a quick look around the car. So if I come down here, you can see I've got a 6-ton axle stand, and under here I've got my mechanic's crawler tray, and that's kind of currently hosting an oil catcher. If I just pan around, carrying around underneath, you can see the other 6-ton axle stand over there, and then at the back there you can see my jack and another axle stand. So looking underneath, not too bad, but what I have noticed is there's a lot of wax oil, which made it a little bit slippy and a bit awkward jacking up. And then actually if you dig underneath the wax oil and other rust prevention stuff, you can see we've actually got a bit of corrosion coming through. Chassis legs aren't too bad, it's a little bit there, a bit corroded there, and then the same on the other side as well, where it's been jacked up previously. It's allowed for a little bit of corrosion, so not in bad shape, but obviously not ideal. So what I'm going to do now is just under here, right in the way there is there's a 30mm nut. Already I've actually just freed off the 30mm nut with a breaker bar, just because it's on a little bit tight. I think this is meant to be about 47 Newton meters on there. Take that out, let all the oil drain. But before I do that, I'm actually gonna warm the engine up again. Car's up to temperature, so should be good now. Trying carefully here not to get covered in oil. Here she comes. There we go. Not too messy. Quite pleased with that. Eesh. Actually, the oil's in not bad condition, to be fair. Oops. Just let it drain out. So it's about 10 litres of oil. Just looking at the condition of it, slightly dirty, but not too bad. So whilst I'm waiting for the oil to dry, I've just got a little strap wrench on the oil filter just down here. And if you see that little one just move a little bit, all I'm doing is just taking the edge of the tightening off with this one. That's nice and loose now. I can wiggle that around quite happily. So here we are from the underside, and you can probably just see the black oil filter just up there. So what I'm going to do now is just try and reach up and undo that oil filter, and then drop that into a little pan I've got just down here. There we go. Oh. And voila. So I've already replaced the air filter, as possibly already mentioned. The next up is, I say, the new oil filter. It's a MAN oil filter, made in Germany. Yeah, look at that. Get a little smear of oil, just run it around the O-ring just there. Okay, so the oil filter is now touching the block, and what I'm going to do now is just give it a half a turn, like so. So never use the rubber strap or one of those chain oil canister removers. You should always tighten these on by hand, and that's now nicely tightened on. All I've done is just finger tightened the 30mm bolt and washer, As it happens, the washer is still in really good condition from where it was changed last year, so I have actually reused it. I think the recommendation is that you probably should change it, but I'm quite happy at the moment to reuse. So let's just push this out of the way. Give me a little bit more room. It's always a good idea to have your tray on wheels. It gives you a bit more room. So now I'm just going to tighten this up. The recommended tightening is about 47. That's probably about 50. So here's the new oil. This is Man Oil Classic 7501. It's a 10W40, and you can see here it's got all the appropriate gradings. So 10W40 API gradings, which is the right one for XJ40. Has a surprisingly good smell, this stuff. Don't know why. I've never come across scented oil before, but strangely attractive. Right, here we go. I'll mop up that spillage in a little bit later on. So now I'll go and check the oil level. So at the moment the dipstick is showing over, but remember when we start up, a good half a pint or more is going to go into the oil canister. Well, I'm pretty happy with that. I've just rechecked the oil level and it's bang on max. I'm pretty pleased with that. The next task is to consider the fuel filter. I open up the box. Here we go. So you can see we've got that there. So you can see we've got threads in there. Got a cap on there at the moment to keep the crap going out, and you can see that's the outside. I think it's coming out camera, but it says out. So we know the direction. So when it's sitting in the car, it'll be kind of like that, with the input coming in on this side. And so to depressurize, open the bonnet and remove the heated oxygen sensor heater relay from the holder. So if we map that diagram to what we're looking at over here, it's this one. So I'm going to pull that out, start the car, let it idle for a bit, and then that should depressurize the fuel system, and then I should be good to release the fuel filter. Well, the relay's been removed and the car is started, so I'm kind of hoping that that's now depressurizing the fuel. Well, car stopped, so I'm now going to put this relay back in. That's nicely secured back in. So the next step will be to release the fuel filter. Okay, so we're just in front of the near side rear or passenger side rear wheel, and the fuel filter. The fuel filter is located just here. See if I can get that focus a bit better. That's the fuel filter. So in terms of removal, we need to remove this holder over here. So this is a 4mm hex or Allen key style type kind of bolt or screw, and then on each side of the fuel filter we've got a let me check, that's the smaller one is a 16mm and the larger one is a 19mm, and I believe that there should also have been a bracket here, so there should be a kind of a plasticky rubber thing that goes around here, and it should be held in by a bracket that's secured there, I suspect. But I think that's either been dropped for this model year, or perhaps a previous garage just couldn't be bothered to refit it. Having said that, it's all pretty firm here, so it's not the end of the world. Okay, that's giving us a bit more wiggle room. And I can see that's starting to come undone now, which is good. Ooh, there we go. There we go. Good news, it has at least been depressurised. I'll hold that other smaller nut in place. I should just be able to unscrew this with any nut. Right, let's try this. There we go. And now we should be in a position to connect in the new one just here, the marl. So it should just go in this way. So I'm going to screw it in this end first. That actually looks fine, so I'm going to reuse that. Yep, I'm happy with that as well. God, it's a bit boring. I keep getting covered in fuel at the moment. Interesting to note, Jaguar says something between 27 and 33 Newton meters of pressure on here. The mile filter actually says that it should be around 17, so not that tight. Make sure it goes in okay. Hopefully it goes in okay. Okay, 22mm would do it. So I'm just going to start tightening up on this side now. I'm going to attempt to run it and just see whether there's any leaks or anything like that. Okay, so I'm pretty happy. I've got the bracket back in situ. Just tighten that up. Just making sure there's nothing leaking around here or under here. Nope, nothing coming through there, which is good. So I'm pretty happy that we've got a fuel tight filter going on there. So this is what happens when you lay your car up for 6 months. It's inevitable you're going to get a bit of corrosion on here. Pads, I think they're alright. Let's have a look. Happy with that. So brake pads are okay. So what we'll do is also just have a quick look at the vernier gauge just to see what's going on here. So I believe on the front we should have 28, maybe a minimum of 27. So I set that to about 31 or something. Let's come in here, go down to about the middle. I think that's saying about 28. So look. So driver's side, we recorded 28 thickness on the disc, a bit corroded as before, cleaned up the calipers a bit. Brake pads just over 8mm, so they're pretty good. Brake pad is around 6mm, which is fine. And the disc itself is just under 12 in terms of thickness. The minimum thickness permitted is 8.8, so I think these are good as well. Just need to burn off the corrosion with a decent run, I think. Offside rear or driver's side rear, right hand drive of course. This one's a little bit more interesting because having measured the disc thickness, it's coming in at around 7.5, 7.6. and the minimum recommended thickness is 8.8, so looks like these are going to have to be changed. So now I just need to start thinking about stripping this down. So the brief steps I'm going to perform, I'm going to remove the securing wire clips just here. Then once I've done that, I'll then look to just pull out the brake pad wear sensor connection just in here. We'll then look to remove the dust covers. Let me just get my mirror for that. There's a dust cap, there's one there, and then there's also one further down. 7mm Allen key style. Undo that one just in there. Once we remove them, we should be able to move the caliper out of the way, leaving just the further bolts, some larger bolts. I think they are 15mm, and we'll remove them, and then we should be pretty much good to get access to the disc here. And then I just need to release this. This is a number 4 posi drive. Okay, to remove the sensor, there's actually a little bracket. It just fits around here and is located in there in the hole. So it just holds, the bracket just holds it in place. So to release it, it's just a case of pulling back the two metal prongs. So I've removed the 2 dust covers here and here. Release the lower bolt. Remember, this is the 7mm Allen key style fitting in here. There's a little boot in here as well. I think these tighten up to about 68 Newton meters. So I'll just get these off. Bolts are off. They look like this. They've come out of here, and one just there as well. So there's 2 more bolts. I believe they are 15mm, and I'll break them off and then hopefully be able to get the whole assembly out of the way. Well, that was fun. There's a lot of corrosion on the bracket that holds the caliper. Bring it over here. I'm hoping that's mostly dirt on the piston, but it's all going to have to be cleaned up. The rubber around the piston still seems to be okay, so hopefully it'll be alright, but I'm just going to have to clean that up because so much corrosion everywhere. Such a stark contrast compared to the S-Type R we did a few weeks ago. Yeah, it's a number 4 posi drive, so I'm just going to undo this and then hopefully get the disc off. Well, that was a pig of a job. Turns out that the adjuster for the handbrake is here, and you should be able to access it here through the disc. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to line it up. I wasn't actually fully aware of the mechanism on these ATE handbrake calipers. But it looks like if you move this out to the right through the hole, then it brings the shoes in together, and if you move it to the left or counterclockwise, it pushes the shoes out. So that should make life a little bit easier when we come to put the new disc on. So now I think I've just got some work to clean everything up, particularly caliper, piston, all around here, the hubs, and then perhaps we can start thinking about fitting the new disc. Right, so I've been able to clean up this a little bit. I've got some attachments for my drill. That's the large one for doing the outside. We've also got these tiny little brushes just there that also fit on the drill. And of course, a collection of brushes such as this. So, cleaner fluid, this stuff here. So, power brake cleaner. Done the same for the caliper bracket. It's not perfect, it's a lot better than it was, and ditto for the caliper just here. So yep, it's still a little bit of corrosion on there, but most of it has cleaned off. So what I'll do now is I'll apply some red rubber grease all around here, here and here, and then what I'll do is I'll wind in the caliper, remembering that I've got the lid off the brake fluid reservoir under the bonnet. So I'm going to wind that all the way in whilst keeping an eye on the brake fluid level in the reservoir, and then we should be good to start fitting everything back. So I've been able to use my compression tool here, a disc brake piston compressor. Obviously it's a sliding caliper arrangement, so there's only the one piston, but that's now fully retracted, plenty of space there. So I think the next thing to do is to fit the new disc on here. Once got the new disc on, so here's the new brake disc. This is from Ashwood Jaguar parts, JLM12424R. It's a single disc with a 2-year warranty, premium coated. Got some genuine ACE pads here. Caliper's now been secured with the 2 bolts down here, one there. Torque's about 120 Newton meters. So the next thing is to look at putting the caliper back on. Point to note on the caliper, the inside brake shoe just clicks inside the seat of the piston, whereas the other one just sits in the caliper bracket. Okay, so the caliper's back on. Put the dust caps back on as well, just here and there, all tightened up to about 68 Newton meter. This clip, I hope it's coming out okay. Let's see. The clip in there for the sensor is a bit of a pain. It just fits very precisely. So there's a bit of a lip on the brake pads, and the spring clip has to line perfectly. Doesn't feel amazingly secure, I have to admit, and I'm not sure there's a huge amount I can do about that, but for now we'll let it be. Here we are, finished job. Just remember to put the spring clip back in securely, so pretty happy with that. If it's all in secure, onto the other side. So this side's now done as well, which is good news. Spring clip is back in place. It's easier to get the old disc off. I was able to line up the inspection hole just there, as that cog that I highlighted earlier on the other side. And if you flick it, I think you flick it up or down. Anyway, you can feel with the horseshoe drums inside, you'll be able to feel them when they're grabbing the inside of the brake disc. So you can just adjust in there, and that makes it a lot easier to take it off as well. Now this is all set up, I've put the cap back on the reservoir for the brake fluid, just over there. Let's try the handbrake. Feels absolutely fine. Pump the brake pedal. It's now starting to feel a little bit harder. Okay, the ABS is charged up just fine. So now I'm just going to pump the pedal once more. Just check round here, make sure there's no leaks or anything come untoward. And just on the other side, note there's no pad wear sensor on this side, only on the other side. Everything else looks okay. Let's check in the fluid level, bearing in mind the car is still jacked up at the back. And I think once I lower it down, I think that will be absolutely fine, bang on the max. Been for a test drive, I'm very pleased. I honestly think that the driver's side or offside rear caliper wasn't really doing much before. Braking seems to be a lot more balanced, and I think it may be because the disc had gone below the minimum 8.8mm thickness. I think it was about 7.6 if my memory serves correct, and also I think the piston has gone to its maximum extent as well, so I don't think it was particularly effective braking. So I've been out for a test drive. Car feels better when braking, it's not pulling to one side or anything. If I flip you around, then there's no errors. If you press the VCM button, there's no error codes coming up or anything like that. So all good. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you found some of this content useful. Plenty more content like this coming along very, very soon. Thanks a lot.